Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Thursday, May 15th. It is my birthday today, so this may be the only video here today on the channel. Obviously put out 3 videos yesterday talking about the report from Mark Long that maybe Anton Harrison and Walker Little will start the offseason program as second string, which you can see my thoughts on that if you want to. You can check out my schedule reaction, all that good stuff from yesterday. Very exciting. But yeah, this might be the only show of the day. Not sure. We'll see what happens. Obviously, if there's any big news and I'm available, I'll jump on that. But really appreciate y'all supporting this channel, supporting Gen Jag. It has been such a wild ride. And this is actually the 10th year since Gen Jag officially got kicked off back in 2015, and it's been a lot of losing, but a lot of fun building community. And I didn't start the YouTube channel until like 2022, I think, which I have some pretty big regrets about not getting the Duval Daily started much earlier than that, but it's all good. I'm happy we're here now, and I'm happy to talk some Jags football with you guys every single day. Right now, I was going to talk about Rayuan Lane, Rayuan. I don't know how to pronounce his name right now. I've been trying to figure that out. I've heard it pronounced Rayuan. That's kind of what it looks like to me, but I don't know. But this is the Navy safety who comes in as the second 6th round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've already talked about all the picks before him. Travis Hunter, obviously fired up about that one. On day 2, Caleb Ransaw, Wyatt Milam. Early on day 3, you had Bashal Tootin and Jack Kaiser, then Jalen McLeod in the 6th round, and then you have Lane here out of Navy. So not a household name, not a lot of folks are watching Navy football every week, but this guy, what you immediately hear about him, and you see it on tape when you pop on the tape too, because I was able to watch a couple games of his. He is a elite special teams player. And then, you look at the numbers as well for him in terms of being a gunner. This past year, he was unbelievably productive in that role. I think he had let's see here. Yeah, 9 special teams tackles, solo tackles, plus 2 assists. 11 tackles on special teams. A lot of those came on punt, but he was just, his special teams grade on PFF was at 89.6. He was an incredibly productive special teamer. And that's obviously a huge part of making the team as a 6th round pick, is being able to contribute on special teams. And that's not lost on the Jaguars. Almost every player they took on day 3 has a lot of special teams value. Jack Kaiser, a 4-core special teamer. Rayuan Lane, a big time special teamer. Jalen McLeod has special teams experience. And so does Tootin. Bashal Tootin returned 2 kicks for touchdowns in 2023. They knew that the assignment, they knew they needed to get good football players, and they knew that those guys had to be able to contribute on special teams. And that's exactly what Lane will do for them. But beyond that, he does play safety as well. He was a starting safety for Navy. And I think he's a really good coverage player. Now, there are limitations, certainly, and safety is such a varied position. The term position safety can mean so many different things. I don't see him as this center fielder. And keep in mind, they drafted Caleb Ransaw as well in the 3rd round. They also signed Eric Murray. They also have guys that have played safety: Darnell Savage, Andrew Winger, Daniel Thomas, Antonio Johnson. That's a crowded room. But what he can do, in my opinion, at the NFL level on the defensive side of the ball. Split zone coverage, I think he can do that extremely well. Right? These two high looks where you're running cover two or some variation of that, I think he can absolutely execute that. He moves with great fluidity and agility. He's also fairly explosive in short areas. He's not the fastest safety, and you see that 4.57 40-yard dash. He's also not the biggest safety. 5'11", about 200. But he is a fluid mover, and he's explosive in short areas. So, again, that's why I don't think you see a center fielder. I don't think you see someone that's going to be able to close on the sideline in like a cover 3 look or a cover 1 look, right? But in split zone duties, in coming down into the box and playing nickel, overhang safety, whatever that may be, like all those different roles, I think that he can do that. Not the strongest guy, but also a pretty good tackler overall. You do see some missed tackles on tape. A lot of those are just, to me, they're not like dishonorable missed tackles. They're just where a running back or somebody that's bigger than him kind of just makes a really good play and is able to keep their balance. It's not like he's missing tackles due to poor form or anything like that. So I think as a safety, probably best role is like safety 3 on a football team. And he will be no higher than safety 3 on this football team this year. Probably, in fact, would be lower on the totem pole. But that's kind of what I envisioned for him early on in his career, being a, first or second guy off the bench at safety who can do a variety of roles for you, as I mentioned, not afraid of contact, plays the game the right way. My favorite thing about him, outside of like the fluidity, agility, and short area explosiveness, he is a very, very smart defender. He's almost always reading things on time, reacting, and making the plays that need to be made. And I really do like that about him. So that's what I see defensively. To make this roster, though, it's going to be a lot about the special teams aspect of it. And there's a number of safeties for the Jaguars who have been very good special teamers. Obviously, Lane coming in, but Daniel Thomas has been a great special teams player. Andrew Wingard has been a great special teams player. Antonio Johnson has been a really good special teams player. So there's a lot of guys back there that can get it done on special teams. I think Lane probably has the advantage when it comes to making the back end of the roster over like a Johnson or a Daniel Thomas, just due to the fact that this group brought him in. They valued him for a reason. And so I would guess he does make the team. And I do think that he has the ability to, if you need to get him on the field defensively, he can probably do that fairly early on. I mean, even though he played at Navy, like they played some big time football games, watched him play against Notre Dame twice in his career, and he played well in both of those games. You also see him picking off Seth Hennigan. He's instinctual and instinctive, and I think that he's going to be a player that has some staying power in the league early on as that special teams ace, gunner. But long term, I think that if he has to get on the field at safety, he can. But again, I think probably in that top guy, second guy off the bench type of role. I don't know that he's ever going to be viewed as this can't miss starting safety. Maybe he can. I mean, again, safety, even at the NFL level, is so much about your ability to understand your defense and understand how offenses are going to try to attack your defense, to read and react, to play instinctive football, to play smart football. there's a lot of safeties that end up making a good amount of money in the league, and safety's not like the highest paid position, but there's a lot of safeties that have a really long career and do really well for themselves that don't have like these elite physical traits. Lane could be one of those types of guys on the defensive side of the ball, just because of there is some really good athleticism and burstiness in short areas and fluidity and agility, but the way he sees the game, I think, is really strong. And the versatility he can bring as someone that, even being only 200 pounds, will absolutely give it his all when he's playing in the box. And I think coverage-wise, can definitely cover a lot of tight ends and backs out of the backfield. Very good in zone coverage. And I think the Jaguars are going to be a much heavier zone team than man team moving forward, I think, based on the way they've kind of constructed things here. And that should come as no surprise with kind of the influences that defensive coordinator Anthony Campanile has had throughout his career. But Rayuan Lane, I like the pick quite a bit in the 6th round. You got to get guys that can contribute on special teams. You got to get guys that, for the Jaguars, are intangibly rich. I don't know him I don't know him personally, obviously, but the way he plays comes off like he's intangibly rich. I mean, all effort all the time, very smart, obviously loves the game of football. So a guy who I think is going to probably end up making the Jacksonville Jaguars roster in 2025, despite some really stiff competition at the back end of the safety room. And when I look at that safety room, how many guys do they keep? Usually you're talking about 4 or 5. I think Lane will be one of them. Obviously, you're looking at Eric Murray and Caleb Ransaw. That's 3 guys right there. I would guess Andrew Wingard would be one of them, so that's 4. Darnell Savage, Antonio Johnson, Daniel Thomas. I think they're really fighting for it back there. And Darnell Savage might be viewed as more of a nickel. Not sure exactly what they're going to do in that regard, but even then, I still think Darnell Savage is really fighting for a roster spot here. And the Jaguars have shown they're going to be unafraid to move on from a contract regardless, if they don't feel like that player is really helping them. And they have done one post-June 1 cut so far. I would imagine that would be the case with Darnell Savage if they decide to move on as well. And it could just happen after June 1st anyways. So that would save them a little bit more in terms of dead money and cap savings. But Savage could make it as a nickel. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up playing out. They've got a lot of nickel guys, though. You know, Jordan Lewis and Jarian Jones can obviously play the nickel at a high level. I think Rayon, whatever it is, I think he could play nickel in the league as well. So that's something to keep in mind. But that'll do it for this one. Really excited to continue to roll through this draft class. We're winding it down. We are absolutely winding it down. We've got Jonah Monheim and one other guy? Who is it? Drawing a blank right now. Oh, yeah, LeQuint Allen. I'm excited about both of those guys. Monheim played a lot of tackle at USC, converted inside to play center. I think he has some pretty good tape. We're going to dive into that. And then LeQuint Allen, just the do-it-all running back. Good runner, great pass protector, great receiver out of the backfield. I'm excited about both of those guys. I'm excited about this Jaguars draft class in general. I think it was really strong. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content here, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.